Hello there, learners, and welcome to Louvain X International Human Rights. I'm Matias Santana, Professor de Scuter's assistant for this course. Now, thousands of you have started to follow the course, and we are thrilled to see the enthusiasm and the effort you're all putting into it. One of the main features of the edX platform, and of this course in particular, is the possibility for you to interact with your peers in the discussion fora. For this interaction to be meaningful and productive, however, discussion fora must remain focused and organized. In this brief video, we will try to explain how you can contribute to that. Now, there are three ground rules for the discussion fora. The first is read before you post. The idea here is clear. Try to see where the discussion is happening and what it's about before you click on the reply button. The second ground rule is don't split a discussion thread. If there's a discussion going on somewhere, you don't need to create a separate discussion with the same subject. And the third ground rule is listen to the forum moderators, be they community TAs or staff members. Now, we realize that the edX platform's forum interface might not be as intuitive as it seems at first sight. And so, for this reason, we prepared this video to help you make the most of that interface. Thanks for your attention, and see you in the forums. So let's suppose that you've just entered into the course interface, and you're going to run into your first discussion forum in the presentations section. So here you are in the unit that contains the presentations forum. And you'll see here that we have drafted very precise instructions so as to avoid any misunderstanding. Follow these instructions carefully and you'll see that there will be no problems. So, as the instructions indicate, rather than simply come here and click New Post, you should not click New Post. You should rather click on Show Discussion here. And you will see that the first little box that appears is called General Presentations. And you'll see that it is a pinned discussion forum. So moderators will pin the discussion forums that are most important and in which you are supposed to respond. So if you want to make your presentation, you should view this discussion here, General Presentations. You click here and it will open. Now that the appropriate discussion forum is open, you'll see that I have presented myself here. And that just beneath that presentation, there is this little button, well, this rather large button called Add a Response. Now, as we mentioned earlier, you do not want to click on New Post. What you really want to do is add a response to the General Presentations forum. Now, if you click on that, it will immediately send you to the end of the discussion forum for the presentations. And you can present yourself. I'll just write, hi, I am Matias's alter ego. As you can see, you can add effects like italics as well. And then I can click Submit. And now my message appears at the end of the discussion forum. I can always come back to it and edit, or I can delete my own message, which I will do because this message is of little interest. My response appears within this little box, this white field with my text in it. But there's also a gray, slightly darker gray box here in which people can add comments. So for instance, I can comment on my own message. There you go. And I can then submit. As you see, always what you write, what you type here is in a raw form, and here is the final version of what you'll get once you submit. There you go. I've submitted this comment to my own response to the general thread. Now you see what I wrote and my name. You'll notice that I cannot edit or delete this particular comment. So the only thing I can do with respect to this area here is delete the entire response, which I will do now. Another couple of features which are worth mentioning are the report misuse button here. This will flag this particular post as being inappropriate, for instance, because it violates one of the guidelines for the forums. You also see again the upvote button here, and finally this little star at the corner. If I click on that or unclick on that, I will choose to follow or not to follow this particular thread. If I'm very interested in it, I'll follow, so it will be highlighted in blue like this, and if I don't want to follow it, I just have to unclick it. There you go. If you get lost in the discussion fora, for instance, if you post a new thread without having wanted to, but you can't find that thread anymore in order to delete it, for instance, the easiest way to find your discussion thread is by the general discussion interface. When you click on that, you will arrive at this general interface. So this is the discussion home for the course International Human Rights, as you can see here. This explains how you can find discussions, so you can either focus on specific topics, for instance, discussion on the universality of human rights, or you can search for specific posts by entering search criteria here in this box, or you can sort all of the forum posts by date, by number of upvotes, and by number of comments. With each post you can either upvote or not. You can report them for misuse, as I have mentioned, and follow or unfollow those posts. If you follow posts, you can click on this checkbox here in order to receive daily updates about what has been going on in that particular discussion thread. Here on the left hand we have all the discussion forums currently existing in International Human Rights. As you see, you can click here to load even more of them. We have a huge number of discussion fora because people have been clicking on new posts rather than clicking on add a response, and that's why we have all these different presentations with only a single post. All of the posts by the staff, by the course staff, begin with some number or with some word within brackets, these square parentheses here. And this will allow you to easily find which ones are the official posts to which you are supposed to be responding. Now, on how to interact with this box on the left side of the screen, you can click on any particular discussion and it will open to the right. Here we are again at the presentations forum, but this time through the general discussion forum interface. So, just in order to recap, the forums are structured in the following way. The first and most general level are what we call posts. That's what you get when you click on New Post. And in International Human Rights, the course staff are the only ones supposed to be creating new posts. So for instance, we have created a presentation thread, and there is a thread in section 1 about the universality of human rights. As we mentioned, they are clearly identified with square brackets, which allows you to distinguish them from other posts created by other users. Now, if someone creates a thread wrongfully, we will delete that thread, and starting this evening we will do that aggressively because we have way too many presentation threads. If we look at the presentation thread, let's say that the first person to respond to that thread is John. He presents himself, and then Anna will present herself after John, and then Sonia, and so on. Now, these are all responses to the general presentation thread. Now, Sonia might want to compliment John on his presentation, so she will comment. So we're at the third and lowest level of the discussion fora. She will comment on John's response, and then Arul will follow up Sonia's commentary with a joke, and then maybe Dimitra will wrap it all up with a further comment. This is happening simultaneously in all the different threads in the discussion fora. So in the universality thread, Carlos will be responding to the questions asked by Professor De Scuter, followed by another response by Yasumi, and let's suppose that one of your peers actually includes materials that are offensive or that violate one of the guidelines for the forums. Well, one of the community TAs or one of the staff members will probably delete that response. Now let's say that someone is responding to Carlos's opinion about the universality of human rights. So Anna has given her comment, and Dimitra follows that up, and then Sean, and then at some point another offensive post is presented by one of the community members. Well, here the forum monitors will not be able to delete because this is at the comment level. The only thing they could possibly do is delete Carlos's response. And in doing so, they will also delete not only the offensive comment, but also all the other comments linked or subordinated to Carlos's original message. So as you can see, what is expected of you is to respond in the threads that are created by the course staff, which are clearly identified. Follow the instructions that precede every discussion forum component in the courseware, and be careful to distinguish a general comment you're making on that specific topic from comments you want to make to your colleague's opinion. Finally, note that there are a few general forums that are there to help you ask questions or to point out that there's a problem with the interface. This post here, the general report a bug thread, is where staff members will look at problems you have found with the interface and will try to find solutions. Don't forget that on the wiki page you also have a frequently asked questions page. You also have the general presentations thread here and the general discussion thread for the wiki pages here. So here's our advice. Follow the 3 ground rules. Before you click on anything in a discussion forum, try to understand what's happening, then respond inside the discussion that is pertinent to the subject you're addressing. If you're presenting yourself, do it in the presentations forum. If you're responding to one of the questions in one of the sections, respond in that discussion forum. And if you're lost, you're not sure how to do so, come to the discussion interface and look for that specific forum before you post. As always, follow the instructions you receive from the course staff and the community TAs. I hope this brief video will help you understand how to interact with your peers through the discussion forum interface, and we're thrilled to be seeing this amount of interest for this course. Thank you, and see you back in the forums.